I almost felt like this was a no-brainer, man. If you want to beat the #1 team in the country, you gotta go for this. Let me ask you guys, do you agree with this? This guy is watching the play. This dude done he's looking at the sideline. He winds up throwing up his arms like, buddy, what are you doing? That's a fumble. Go after it. How about that? All in all, some pretty good games today. Let me just TV real quick. Really good day of college football. Obviously, we are here to talk about Kentucky and Georgia tomorrow. Come on back to the channel tomorrow. We do our infamous, I guess I shall say, Sunday recap video. Gonna try to get that uploaded ASAP. Gonna wake up early tomorrow morning and watch some film because there's a lot of games. I wouldn't say a lot of games, but there's parts of a lot of games I didn't get to see. By the way, what happened to Quinn Ewers? I have no idea what's going on there. I know he got hurt, but how significant of an injury? Guess we'll have to wait and see. Prayers and thoughts going out to him. A lot of players got banged up today. You hate to see that. Wisconsin's quarterback Tyler Van Dyke and et cetera, et cetera. But Georgia and Kentucky, and look, I'm just going to get straight to it. I know what your casual cheesy puff eater is going to say. And you're wrong, okay? You're completely wrong. Okay, there's going to be two types of people that are going to say what I'm about to get into. Number one, the guy who just doesn't know how college football works. He watched the game and he says smart things, but he just doesn't get it. And also the guy who maybe didn't watch the game tonight and he's going to text you tomorrow, or you're going to see him at work throughout the week and say, man, what happened to Georgia, dude? I thought that was the top team in the nation. 13-12 against Kentucky. Kentucky lost by 25 to South Carolina. What happened to Georgia? I thought they were good. Come on, man. I'm not going to scream. Well, I might scream in just a minute. But you're wrong if that's your viewpoint on all this. I've said before, I'm going to say it again. Golden rule in sports. Number one, you never apologize for a win. I don't care if you're playing at the YMCA, you're playing a Boys and Girls Club. It doesn't matter what the competition is. Sorry. You never apologize for a win. Two, you especially do not apologize for a road win in the SEC. Outside of Vanderbilt, winning on the road in the SEC is hard because when you play at Vanderbilt, common knowledge in the SEC, that's a home game because your fans are going to take over and buy all the tickets because Vanderbilt really doesn't even have a fan base. Well, we do have, I say that, but I thought this one guy who comments on all the videos, and shout out to you, you know who you are, but you know what I mean. They don't have a big fan base. Winning on the road in the SEC is difficult. I'm not going to sit up here and try to act like Kentucky's some hostile environment because it's not. Let's not do that. It's not Auburn, Alabama. It's not the Swamp. It's not Baton Rouge. I wouldn't even really label Tuscaloosa as a hostile environment, but to each their own. Some people would. It's not Neyland Stadium. Let me give you some context and perspective as to how I process these games. I do not analyze these teams based off of the score or the final outcome. So, for example, I'm not going, oh my goodness, like we just talked about, Georgia only won 13-12. Offense must have been terrible. I guess the defense, no, that's not what I'm doing. I analyze the team compared to their standard and how they looked. It's as simple as that. Sometimes crazy things are going to happen. Sometimes you're going to play a Kentucky team in which they have a really good performance and you're going to fight your way through it. It's going to be a slugfest and you walk out there with a 13-12 victory. Just because Georgia won by 1 point, it doesn't mean something's wrong with Georgia or they didn't play good. I tell you right now, I don't think Georgia played bad. I don't think they played their A+ game, not by any stretch of imagination, but they didn't play bad. So let's just get that out there right now, because I know that's going to be the narrative. What's wrong with Georgia? I guess they're overhyped. No. I think even the announcers were talking about how Georgia has struggled in the road openers the past couple of seasons. And one of the craziest things I heard during this game, and I just thought about it, is Booger McFarland at halftime said Carson Beck was playing like Greg McElroy. That's crazy. If you know who Greg McElroy is, you know he was... I mean, if you were to look up the definition of a game manager, there'd be a picture of Greg McElroy next to it. So, kind of disrespecting Carson Beck there, but hey, what are you going to do about it? Before we get into some of the whiteboard stuff, because there is some stats I want to show you guys, you have to understand also, Georgia, we know, is the #1 team in the country, right? Well, this is Kentucky. Kentucky knows they're not going to the college football playoff. They know they're not going to win or even compete for the national championship. Therefore, this game against Georgia is their national championship. You have to understand that. Every team Georgia plays throughout the season, outside of Alabama, really, it's their national championship. So, very similar to Alabama the past 16 years, every team you play is going to give you their best shot in their A+ game. Now, is that always going to happen? No, they're going to struggle. But every now and then you're going to get a team like Kentucky where they play hard, it comes down to the wire, and yeah, that's how the game goes. And you look up and you're in a struggle fest with a team you thought you wasn't going to struggle with. I just wanted to start the video by saying that it's the SEC. You shouldn't think less of Georgia for winning by 1 point on the road. Now, with that being said, I want to show y'all something. I actually got it saved here. Let me find the mark. We'll just do this in live time. Matt, when you're editing this video, leave it in. Remember, you're the best editor on the planet. Thanks, Matt. Where is this? Oh, yeah. So it's 13-12 late in the fourth quarter. I believe approximately... Okay. 3 minutes. I'll pause it. And 3 seconds left. Bring y'all around here. And I will turn off... Actually... Turn out this light, maybe I'll see a little bit better. We'll do this. A little film session with your boy Matt. How do I get that to go away? Back? Okay, cool. Here we go. 3 minutes, make sure y'all see me pretty good, and 3 seconds to go in this game. Georgia 13, Kentucky 12. Kentucky has the ball on the, we'll just say the 47-yard line. 4th and 8. All your timeouts, and you got the 2-minute timeout. So really, you got 4 timeouts. Why punt it here? Why? Are you trying to beat the #1 team in the country or what? I just don't, it's not even like, oh, we're playing it safe. No, this just doesn't make any sense. Why punt it? Now, with that being said, do I think Kentucky's going to get a 4th and 8 against Georgia? Probably not, because Georgia's got one of the best defenses in the country. But your chances of beating Georgia are slim to none anyways. You get 8 yards. I mean, if you get this first down, you're about, what, 5 more yards from field goal range and winning it? And even if you don't get it, right? Worst case scenario, you give them the ball at the, we'll say, midfield, and you got to get another stop. Even if you allow a field goal, you'll get the ball back. It just, I hated this so much. And I knew as soon as they punted this ball, game over. Because you're not going to stop Georgia. I mean, Georgia, I just knew the way they was ground and pound. I know Kentucky was getting stops, but I hope I'm not the only one who had that feeling when Kentucky punted it. I just didn't agree with it. Of course, you know, what do I know? I'm a guy in his man cave evaluating the game close to midnight. You know, I'm not making these decisions, but I almost felt like this was a no-brainer, man. If you want to beat the #1 team in the country, you got to go for this. And it just goes back to what I'm harping on. And I hate to sound like a broken record player, guys, but you don't lose anything by not getting this. Even when you punted them the ball, they wound up getting it all the way up here anyways. I hated this, man. And I'm not a Kentucky fan. I couldn't imagine being a Kentucky fan. I know y'all hated this call. I hate the call just as a college football fan. Go for it, man. Let your nuts hang. I'm drawing a blank. Stoops, Kentucky's head coach. You are never going to have a better chance to beat Georgia than this. If I were to tell you, Stoops, before the game, you're going to be trailing 13-12. All you need is 8 yards. Because if you get this first down, you're going to be in field goal range. All you need is 8 yards. Would you take that? Yes, you would. But when you get into this scenario, you don't do it. And he was playing it safe all game, and I get it because against South Carolina, he went for it in his own territory. It just bit him in the butt. Bad coaching, right? So in this game, he was like, well, I don't want to get us out of the game. And there was one field goal he kicked where it was like 4th and 1, 4th and 2. Probably, I mean, they had some momentum. They was running on Georgia. Probably could have went for that. He kicked it, which I don't mind. But this one I do mind. Okay? You're not going to beat the #1 team in the country by kicking freaking field goals. It's just not going to happen. I'm frustrated for the Kentucky fan base. I didn't even think I was going to get worked up in this video. But, you know, when you turn on the camera sometimes, things happen. Why? Can someone in the comments say, let me ask you guys, do you agree with this? Punting it here? You know if you don't get it, Georgia's going to try to run out the clock anyways. You might as well just give yourself another shot and go for it. You could get a pass interference, or you don't even got to complete the ball. So many things can happen and go your way. But by punting it, you're just waving the white flag. Oh, yeah, well, we got close. I hate that. Now, there's another play I want to single out while I'm thinking about it. And if I was this guy, I don't know how I'd be able to sleep at night. Where's it at? So, Oscar Delp is going to fumble the ball here. As you can see, this is Delp. He fumbled the ball. And you got two guys about roughly the same distance away from the ball. This guy's making the tackle. This guy's, you know, he's sort of out of it. I'm talking about this Georgia defender right here and this Kentucky defender. This was a huge play. I mean, you're at the 41-ish. That's a fumble. That's a free ball. That's a fumble-rooski, baby. And you got this dude. He's not even paying attention. Whereas this guy, Georgia player, locked in and focused like I expected Georgia football team to be, he hops on it. Just watch this. Let me go up a different frame. Look at this. They're the same distance away from the football. I mean, it is so close. This guy is watching the play. This dude done gave up. He's looking at the sideline. He winds up throwing up his arms like, buddy, what are you doing? That's a fumble. Go after it. Gosh. That 4th and 8 in this would drive me crazy if I was a Kentucky fan. This doesn't do it any justice, but this guy started his dive back here. Look, dude throwing up his hands. What are you doing, man? He could have got that, or at least made it close. Okay, I don't know why that play's not talked about more. And that's really the only two plays I wanted to show y'all. And, I mean, I don't even know who number 54 is for Kentucky, just to keep it a Fortnite V-Buck with y'all. But it's little things like that. Why are you not watching the play all the way through, man? Especially this late in the game when you know your team's trying to create a fumble. Let me turn this light back on, guys. Let's get into the whiteboard. I think there's like one stat I do want to show you guys. Wow. You gotta see this stat. You know how many first downs Georgia had in this ball game? This shocked me. I thought it was a little more. They only had 12 first downs. What a performance by the Kentucky defense. Kentucky had, they almost doubled them up. 23! If you would have showed me this stat line before the game, I for sure would have thought Kentucky won. They almost doubled them up. Total yards, kind of even. Georgia, 262. Kentucky, 284. And I'll just throw that right here. So, edge to Kentucky in that. 262. Georgia had 102 rushing yards. What'd they average? Like 3 yards a pop? Yeah, 3.4 yards per carry. That Kentucky defense came to play, man. They really held their own at the line of scrimmage. Kentucky had a $170 on the ground. 45 carries, so they averaged 3.8 yards per carry, which isn't amazing, but on 45 carries against Georgia, that's pretty solid. And remember, sacks from your quarterback are taken into account. And by the way, one pivotal play in this game is when Kentucky's up 3-0 and Brock Vandagriff. And this is really the only stat line I want to show y'all. But Brock freaking Vandagriff is sitting back there like a duck. I mean, there's a guy just rushing him. He's standing still and go, boom! Just got destroyed, fumbles it. Georgia picks it up. They didn't score a touchdown. Shout out to the Kentucky D. But it was a free 3 points. And who knows what could have happened on that drive for Kentucky. Oh yeah, we're supposed to do the new thing on the channel where I grade the offense and defense from both teams. I don't think you guys care too much about that. Let me know in the comment section if y'all actually like that. Actually, you know what? We'll do it. We'll do it. I think y'all might want to see that. And I need to start doing it more because I actually saw quite a bit of comments of people saying they do like that. So what we've been doing, or kind of forgot on some of today's videos, is we're grading offense, defense, special teams, and coaching. Let's do it. Actually, no, we're not even going to do special teams because that's mainly not a factor in these games. We'll do coaching. Normally special teams is like a C+. Very rarely is it a factor. Offense for Georgia, of course it wasn't too good. I'm going to go with a C-. I think that's fair. Which is just slightly below average. Defense, that's good. I'm going to go A- there, really good. Coaching, it was okay, so we'll go B-. I really like how Kirby Smart was ripping into his players. So we'll just go, actually, we'll go B. We'll go B there. Offense for Kentucky. They ran the ball well, didn't pass it good. They was okay, had that one turnover. We'll go for Kentucky. C+, just average. Defense, very good. Yeah, I think they played better than Georgia's defense. They only allowed 12 first downs, so we'll go A there. Couldn't have done too much better, which A+ is perfect. And coaching, that's about as good as it gets for Kentucky. I'll leave them some room for improvement. We'll go A. So in total, I mean, Kentucky did get 2 A's from your boy Matt, the C+ on offense. But, you know, against a Georgia, you need this offense to be at least like a B+, and then these to be A and A as well. Because if not, you're still going to lose. You need your best to beat Georgia as it's playing. And as simple as that, many are things we need to talk about, but that is what the Sunday recap is for. Hope you guys had a great Saturday and enjoyed some college football games like myself. Let me know your thoughts down below. But